Hey everybody, welcome to a bonus episode of the SuperCaliFragilistic Awesome Disney Podcast. I'm Chris.
And I'm Kelly.
And we just got back from Disney in Orlando, and we spent 2 days at the Epcot Food and Wine Festival. And we wanted to kind of give you guys what our top picks were from the festival.
Absolutely. And we will put photos of everything we tried out on our website. Everything that we mentioned we were going to try in a previous podcast, we did. We hit the list. And so we'll put photos of all those out there, as well as some of the menus from the different booths. These are just our favorites.
Yeah. And so we're going to do a couple of honorable mentions, a favorite drink, and our top 3 favorite foods.
Yes.
So why don't you give me your 2 honorable mentions?
Yeah, so my honorable mentions, the first one is actually the La Vie en Rose Frosé from France. I know it's hard for you to believe that didn't make the list since I had 2, but it didn't. Just as a reminder, y'all, that is vodka, Grey Goose l'Orange, Saint Germain liqueur, white and red cranberry juice. It looks like a really light pink slushy, and it is heaven served in a martini glass. And I had one at the booth. I had one on the inside with the bakery area, and they are lovely, but it is an honorable mention. My other honorable mention is from the mac and cheese booth, the house-made Italian sausage and peppers. Remember, y'all, this is plant-based. So this is plant-based meat, plant-based cheese. And I thought it was really good. It was creamy. The sausage had a nice kick to it. If you hadn't told me that was plant-based, I wouldn't have guessed it. And you tasted it. What did you think?
I thought it was incredible. I never would have thought that was not actually meat.
Yeah, and so those are my 2 honorable mentions. How about yours?
Okay, so my honorable mentions are the from the German Pavilion, the Schinkennudeln.
I remember you having that.
Yeah. So this is the pasta gratin with ham, onions, and cheese. So this is like it's like Spatzel mac and cheese. And heavy onions, heavy ham in there.
So I could see the onions for sure.
And that's not normally something I'm for, but it set it off. The thing about this, though, is my favorite part of mac and cheese in general is when you have that nice, crusty, melty, thick cheese on the outside.
It had that.
This had that in just all over the place.
Yeah.
It was so buttery, cheesy, wonderful. It was so good.
Looked good.
The other thing I was surprised by, I wanted to try this and was skeptical going into it and was really just blown away by this little Pão de Queijo Brazilian cheese bread.
So good.
This thing was so soft, and it honestly, it tasted like the inside of the whole thing, outside and inside, tasted like the inside of a super buttery roll. It was so
It
buttery,
was like cheese was in the dough.
It was like the dough was made with cheese.
Right. It wasn't like they put cheese in the middle. It was like, this is a cheese roll.
Yeah, and it was a bigger piece of bread than I
thing.
Expected. It was roll sized, and it was just so doughy and stretchy and delightful. I loved it.
It was good. And I would apologize. I don't think we got great pictures of it because it was pouring down
We
rain.
were underneath an umbrella, and
but it was delightful.
It was really good. Really good. Okay, so we're going to do our favorite drinks now.
Yeah.
So
what favorite drink? One favorite drink.
Yeah, one favorite drink.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my number 1 favorite drink was the frozen s'mores with whipped cream vodka.
I was going to be one of 2 that if I was going to guess. That's one
that drink blew me away. So when I read the description, I thought frozen s'mores with whipped cream vodka. And so I thought whipped cream with vodka in it. But no, it was vodka flavored like whipped cream. And it had marshmallows right on top.
Yeah.
And the thing is like, first of all, the frozen s'mores, it was like frozen hot chocolate, so good. But when you dipped those marshmallows into the frozen s'mores, they like froze, little frozen marshmallows. And when you, that vodka that drink was out of bounds. I loved it so much.
It was really good.
It was so good.
Okay, my favorite drink was the Bloomin' Blueberry Lemon Ginger Tea from Twinings of London with Tito's handmade vodka served in a mason jar.
From the Earth Eats booth.
From the Earth Eats booth.
It was really good.
That was the most refreshing. The thing I dislike about trying all the drinks is that a lot of them are like really sweet and these frozen drinks.
Right.
This was such a refreshing.
My favorite drink.
Those are your
frozen
favorite. This thing was so refreshing on a hot summer day.
Yeah, it was great.
It was really, really good.
It was excellent. Yep.
Okay, so now we're moving on to our. This is for all the money here.
Right here.
Our top 3 food items of everything we tried. We're gonna go 3, 2, 1. Okay, so you do 3, I'll do 3, and we'll move on that way. Okay.
All right. So my third one was the traditional Sicilian cannoli, which was the crisp pastry filled with sweet ricotta, chocolate, and a candied orange. I'll be honest, I don't remember the candied orange. When we hit that Italian booth, it was fairly late, and I hit it with all I had. I bought everything they had there, and it was a good cannoli.
Yeah,
it was a
good.
cannoli dipped in chocolate. The cream on the inside was perfectly sweet, not overly sweet. It was the right amount of cold. It didn't just melt. And it was chocolate. Like, I was licking the chocolate off of my fingers.
It was really good.
Do not remember the candied orange, but it was a delightful cannoli.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Okay, my number 3 was the New England lobster roll, which was in the U.S. Pavilion
Look at
at the
you.
hops and barley booth.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're from the Southeast. We don't get lobster rolls a lot here, and this was warm lobster, herb mayo on a griddled roll. The roll was nice and soft. It was really great roll, and it was just chock-a-block loaded with lobster. I mean, I had to use a fork to eat the lobster before I could get it all inside that roll.
And that's your number 3.
That was my number 3.
Wow.
Imagine, I know.
Wow.
All right, what's your number 2?
Number 2, I'm going to screw this pronunciation up. This is the Tarte Tropezienne. This is French. Coulis Framboise.
Framboise, okay.
Okay, so this was the brioche cake filled with a light pastry cream and a raspberry coulis.
Yeah.
I reading that description, I didn't know what to expect, but the reality was it wasn't as heavy, like greasy as a donut, but it was a perfect little cake, a perfect little bun, a circular bun with like white powdered sugar over the top, and of course, it's the French Pavilion, so the raspberry coulis with these perfect little dots on my paper plate. And it was, the cream on the inside was delightful. I was blown away by that tart.
Awesome.
Big fan of that.
My number 2 was the KALUA pork slider from the Hawaiian booth. It came with a sweet and sour Dole pineapple chutney and spicy mayo. So I love a slider. I love a small sandwich. I love a soft roll. This was ticked all of those boxes.
Soft roll.
The KALUA pork was so lean and easy. It had just the right amount of tang with that pineapple chutney. It was such a delightful little morsel of pork barbecue slider.
Did it have onions on it as well?
No.
Okay, I thought one of the sliders had onions. Okay, so that would be yours. Top.
It was me all over.
Okay.
All right. Your top one. I'm so excited.
Number 1, no pressure. My number 1 favorite was the Impossible Burger Slider with the wasabi cream and spicy Asian slaw on a sesame seed bun. This is from the Plant-Based Earth Eats booth. We loved all of the plant-based items that we tried for the Food and Wine. And it was phenomenal. If you didn't know that was an Impossible Burger, I don't think you'd be able to tell.
I'm a burger aficionado, and I would never have been able to tell you.
That little bun, that little slider bun was adorable, perfect, all of the above. But my favorite thing about that slider was the wasabi cream in the Asian slaw, because it gave it that little bit of an Asian kick and a little bit of a spice kick that sort of took the burger slider, whatever you want to call it, to another level.
Yeah.
And I loved that little burger slider.
I was
blown away by that.
I appreciate you sharing it with me.
Yeah.
So, all right,
Number one.
my number 1 was at the Islands of the Caribbean booth, the ROPA VIEJA empanada with tomato ale.
Oh, I remember you loving that.
I loved that little pastry. It was so great. The pastry empanada was light, flaky, tender, buttery, but then it was the beef on the inside of it. It was like this beef had been simmered for hours in like tomatoes and onions, and then shredded, and then wrapped up in this wonderful little pastry dough,
Oh, gosh.
and then fried. It was so good, and if I didn't have so many other things to sample at the festival, I would have just made myself sick eating those little empanadas.
Yeah, I mean, what I will say is what I've got on my list here, I never would have anticipated would have been my favorites. How about you?
Maybe.
You thought the empanada would be number one?
No, not the empanada. Would be that caught me totally off guard.
Yeah, I thought so.
The lobster roll and the slider I thought would probably be up there.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. The empanada caught me off guard as number one.
Yeah, I was sort of blown away by the ones I liked. But if you haven't been, go. The Food and Wine Festival is great. And be sure to check out our website if you want to see some pictures of the other foods that we tried.
Yep, absolutely. It was a good time.
Yes. All right. So we will catch y'all later.